Hi everyone, Radhe Radhe. I hope my voice is better today. I started talking to someone in the morning and my voice went away again and I started coughing again, so hopefully it'll be better. So today we're doing chapter 2, verse 61. And oh my goodness, this is why I started reading the Gita. This is precisely why I started reading the Gita. Maybe you might call it confirmation bias or whatever, but I wanted to know whether Bhagwan Shri Krishna says anywhere in the Gita directly that bhakti is the path to go and that Bhagwan Shri Krishna himself is the God to pray to, you know. And guess what? I was expecting it to be there in chapter 10 or something. I thought people talk about it and I thought maybe there are multiple interpretations to that as well. But I read this, I read the translation, I read the word by word translation because I was like, huh? Let me look at it again. I read the translation somewhere else and I was like, this is it. 2.61, this is it. Bhagwan Shri Krishna actually says, you fix your consciousness in me. Specifically, he says in me. I don't even understand how any other interpretation is possible of this. Now I really want to read other interpretations as well to see how they translate this particular word, matpara. But like I read it and I was like, huh? And then, of course, when I went through the commentary of the Gita Daily website of Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, it was very clearly written there as well that this is the first verse. Like, I mean, I saw that it's the first verse where Bhagwan Shri Krishna talks about he himself being God, and for us to fix our consciousness onto him. Until now, it was always buddhi, right? So the translations of Srila Prabhupada and therefore Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, which is the same thing, he just picks it from there, the overall translation, high level and word by word. He had said uh, Krishna consciousness or fixed in Krishna consciousness many times before, but I kept reading Swami Mukundanand one because they were talking about buddhi, and buddhi means intellect. It doesn't mean Krishna consciousness, not literally. So I was like going through the literal translation. But here, there is no confusion, no question. It is brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant. So, yeah, let me sing the verse and let's get to it. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. So what it says, let me, and it's, fan gets so loud. I hope you can hear me better now. Okay, I've just turned down the fan a little bit. तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. It's beautiful, huh? Sounds so good. Okay, so word by word. Tani sarvani sanyamya. Tani, all those senses, all sarvani, all those senses. Sanyam in Hindi, keep under control. Hindi and Sanskrit are so similar. So, yeah, keep all those senses under control. By keeping all those senses under control, yukta asita matparaha. So he's using asita here, the word. So in I forgot which verse was it, 54 or something, where Arjun had spoken, he had asked like, what do people who are intelligent, wise sages, whatever, what do they do? How do they speak? What language do they speak? How do they sit? How do they walk? Right? So here Asita, how do they sit, is the section that now, according to Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, he's explaining, Bhagwan Shri Krishna is explaining how do they sit, but it's not literally sit, it's like how do they be, or how do they um, yeah, he explained it in the previous verse as well, exactly what he translated is like not exactly sit, but like the last few verses have been about that. So he's using the word asita again here, and then Chaitanya Charan Prabhu says the next one he talks about how do they walk, the next part of it. That's how Bhagwan Shri Krishna is explaining it. So all these senses, if we keep under control, yukta, engaged, asita, should be situated. Here asita does not mean sit, means should be situated. So yukta, engaged and fixed. Matparaha, this is the the crux of this entire verse and so far of this entire Gita. I think if there's one verse that I want to learn, this is the first verse that I want to learn. I've been waiting, I've been like trying to figure out what are the verses, few verses. If I was to learn 10 verses in the Gita, which would they be? I think this would probably be the first one because it's the very first one. I mean, I know the first verse, maybe the first 20 verses because I learned them in the beginning. But yeah, the Matpara, this would be the first one that I like feel is the most important, one of the most important verses because the first verse where he says, in relationship with me, engaged, situated in relationship with me. Vashehi yasyendriyani, Vashehi, in full subjugation, yasya, one whose senses, Indriyani senses, tasya prajna pratishtita, his consciousness is fixed. So you can see the way he speaks always, right? The way he's always speaking, he's not saying you should do this or one should do this. He's saying one who does this, his consciousness is fixed. He's been following this model continuously. There is no shoulds. There is no like whatever. It's just saying a person who does this achieves this. A person who does this is this. A person who does this is this. That's it. It's your choice. And he says that right towards the end, the very last few verses of the Gita. He says that you have absolute free will to do whatever you want to do. This is your choice. You do what you want to do. Okay, so the translation is one who restrains his senses, keeping them under full control, and fixes his consciousness upon me, matlab me, Bhagwan Shri Krishna, not me, matlab me, is known as a man of steady intelligence. Okay, his consciousness is fixed. So Swami Mukundan, and I'll go to the commentary of this because it has some points, but Swami Mukundanand one, they are established in perfect knowledge who subdue their senses and keep their minds absorbed in me. Okay, prajna, yeah, prajna is perfect knowledge. That's so here is translated as consciousness, but perfect knowledge, something like that. Okay, so the example that they both give is in Srimad Bhagavatam. King Ambrish says that I am engaging. So, how are you doing this? So there are I'm mixing up things. There are three parts to this. Two things that are actions, and one is that the result. The two things that are the action is control. Control the senses. That's what he's saying. Okay, so control the senses. Tani sarvani sanyamya yukta asita matpara. So no, the first one, Tani sarvani sanyamya. Control the senses. The second part is fix it on me. Yukta asita matparaha. Yukta asita. Yukta, engage and situate your consciousness in me. So section 2 is concentrate on me. Concentrate your mind on Krishna. And the third one is conquest. It's the result. The first two are actions. Control your senses. It's not possible to simply control your senses because your mind will go everywhere. The second thing is concentrate on me. That helps control the senses. The third is conquest. Then you become a sage. Then you become a person of perfect knowledge. Then you become a person of pure consciousness. Krishna consciousness. Yeah, and controlling senses also. There's going to be a lot. The entire rest of the Gita. Now I feel like crying. The entire rest of the Gita is about how to do this. This is the very first verse. So I think all of this pressure that I've been putting on myself, I'm not understanding, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. This is the beginning. This is the very beginning. I'm starting to understand. This is the very beginning. And I have another year and a half or more to go to study the Gita every day, one verse, and figure out the answers to all of these questions that have been brought up. What does this mean? I don't have any understanding so far of what it means, but I will understand how to do all of this and what it means and how to become Krishna conscious in a much deeper way, I'm sure, by the end of 1.5 years when I'm complete with the studies than I am at this point. So I'm very, very grateful that I have the opportunity, that I was born in an Indian Hindu family, that I speak Hindi, that I have this this natural proclivity to understanding the Gita because it is just incredible. Okay. So yeah, this is yeah, Ambrish Maharaj basically is the same example that's given in Swami Mukundana. Okay, so that's it for today. That's not it, that's a huge thing for today. And we're going to do chapter 2, verse 62 tomorrow. I wish you a very, very beautiful day. Radhe Radhe.